Peter, the GDPR creates new rights for individuals and strengthens some of the existing ones. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, that's true, Andrew. Certainly, some of the existing rights have been strengthened and enhanced. Perhaps it's worth just going through the current subject access rights. First of all, there's a right to be informed. Right. I mean, that hasn't changed. So that's the right to be informed about the data that people are holding. It's basically something that normally would be outlined in a privacy notice. But of course, privacy notices, there's much more complex arrangements for privacy notices now. Mm-hmm. So there's the right to be informed. There's also a right to access your data. Nothing's changed there. There's a right to rectification. So if you think there's something wrong with the data, you can ask to have it rectified in the correct way. Right. There's a right to erasure. If there's something incorrect that you want to change it against, it can be erased. Mm-hmm. To restrict processing, where it's something that you haven't given permission to process that particular data. There's the right to portability, so that you can move the data from one provider to another. We'll say a bit more about that in a minute. There remains the right to object, and there are certain rights over automated decision making and profiling. Mm-hmm. So that's where businesses they're collecting data about you and then making decisions on that data, and you know, there are certain protections for individuals where that's the case. But if we're talking about what are the key enhancements there within those rights, I think I would point out in particular to this erasure, the right of erasure. It's important because in line with modern technology and individuals having information on the cloud and all sorts of applications, it's become clear that individuals sometimes want them to be erased and forgotten. The reason being might be something that happened years ago and it's of no relevance to the data processor or the data controller. So that's a new right. They've got the right to be forgotten, it's called. I think that's important. Other rights that are enhanced in this act is a key one is portability. So again, it's really to do with the new technology, application providers, information in the cloud. You may decide to move from one provider to another, and they've got all that data about you. So you may want to just make it simple to move from one to the other, and the Act is designed to make that happen. So you've got a right to portability. So what it means is that businesses are really going to have to some extent start maintaining the information in a format that can easily be transferred from one provider to another. And I think
also working out a mechanism to move it from A to B, making sure it's complete and accurate during that sort of transition as well, and improving it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's a lot to think about there, really, in these new rights. I think it's worth mentioning as well that the individual in the right to they've got the right to look at the information that you're holding.
Right.
And these are termed subject access requests, which under the present arrangement businesses could charge a fee for. Also, you had up to 40 days to respond. Well, now it's a bit stricter. You've got to respond within a month, and you can make a charge for that. You can't make a charge for that. Under certain circumstances you can charge, but that's only if people are making excessive requests or they're requesting the same information more than once. Then you can make a small charge. Administrative costs only. No punitive measures on that. So it's important to remember as well, in all these rights that the individual has, and when you're responding to these rights, in particular, the right to be informed and consent and access requests, you must be sure that you've verified who the individual is. So, you know, there's a couple of interlinked things there. So you've got to inform, they've got the right to be informed. Mm-hmm. And if you don't handle that correctly, well, what good is the consent? Because they can only consent to something that they're fully aware of. They need to have full knowledge of what they're consenting for. So the two go together, really. And yeah, it's an important issue. One of the things, so this verification of the identity is important, and of course, it goes without saying that when you delivering, responding to a subject access request, you must be certain that that individual is that person before you send them a copy of their data. I think there's certain other things that GDPR introduces as that suggest really that will be best practice, and it might not be suitable for all businesses. But what they're suggesting is, look, ideally, you would enable an individual to have remote access to their data, so that it takes a lot of the bureaucracy out of things. They can look at it at any time, can check it over, and in a sense, there's an automatic.
But that'll need
scrutiny.
thinking through, won't it? Remote access opens up another sort of aspect of how you organise yourself and monitor it.
It does. It's again, I guess it's privacy by design, data protection by design. You have to design a system that is secure from the outset, for just that individual to access it. So they're all, as I say, they're all interlinked. The organisational processes and the technical measures taken to protect data.
Oh no, thanks very much. So that's some of the key issues coming out of that then are the sort of the erasure aspect, and then the portability, and then getting your subject access requests and verification put in order, and potentially that remote access best practice being organised. Gosh, a lot to think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.